Hey guys, what's going on? We are going to look over the team affinities today and the fastest way to complete them. There's been a couple different ways that I've seen lately, but just what I've found the most useful and effective is what we're going to show today. Okay, so first things first, going to come over here to team affinities. We're going to just take a peek here. You can see I've got two done and the rest are just about halfway done. I should be able to get them done within the next 2 to 3 days. But we're going to look at the stuff we actually need to complete them. So these vouchers we can get from either mini seasons or from the showdown. The showdown, in my opinion, is the best way to get them, and I recommend doing one showdown for each one of these six team affinities. And you can find the showdown in the single player category, showdown, and it's this team affinity one right here. You will get a voucher for every other completion, and so you're going to want to do all of them. You can skip this last one. It will give you an extra player and a couple extra runs, so it'll make this final boss easier. So if you're not as good at the game, I would recommend going and doing just all of them in total, and each run should take you maybe 30, maybe 40 minutes. So it's a little bit of a time investment, but I think it's well worth it to get your first initial push into the team affinities. Second, what I think is going to be the best thing to do is these moments. These moments right here are going to give you 3,000 apiece, and there's no pitching moments, so there's really none that should take quite a while. And we should have an easy time doing these. They're all on veteran difficulty, from my knowledge, and should be easily done for everybody. And about that time, you should be probably around this 40,000 range or 30, 40,000, and or maybe even at the 60 where you're going to get this. I don't quite exactly remember where it's going to be, but during those showdowns you're going to get some of these challenges done, so hopefully by the time you get on with those showdowns you're going to have at least one card from each place, and then you're going to want to look to put that in your team so you can look at completing these single player missions while you do the conquest, because that's going to be your next step, is doing the conquest mission. That's going to give you 30,000 along with some extra rewards just from completing the conquest. And you're also going to be getting your single player missions done, of which, as you can see, these three are repeatable right here: hits, home runs, and strikeouts. And they all give you 10 or 15,000 points. And then this total bases one is with the bosses. So later on during your team affinity grind, this one will probably be easier to get. If you're a decent player at the game, I'd recommend playing on All Star so that you can get these RBIs done, and that'll just make it easier. Just a note for these single player missions, it doesn't have to be with the bosses. It can just be with any player from the AL East for this one in particular. So anybody from the Orioles, Red Sox, Yankees, the Rays, or the Blue Jays. And that goes for every single one of these. They're all basically the same, and it will be a big grind, but it's really no big deal. Um, Greatness takes time, as they say. So we're gonna go over here to this conquest, and I already have them all three done. It's the TA West, TA Central, and TA East. If you're playing later on in the year and you're watching this video, make sure you're looking at the season one, chapter one, as long as you're wanting to do the same one that I'm doing. So it's pretty simple. Conquest is basically, just think of it as like a board game if you've never played it before. You just kind of branch out to these players and you'll go up. And the only ones you actually have to play games on are these strongholds, is what they're called. Eventually, you'll see stuff like this one up here, where it's just a number, and you'll be able to simulate those. So you're just going to want to make sure you have more numbers than the other team, and generally you should win it. But you'll have to play these. Like I said, if you're a decent player, I'd recommend playing it on All Star. But if you're not, just save up a couple more of these points. You can just skip by pressing your options button and then hit and skip until you get to this reinforcement stage. Stack up on, fans is what they're called. And then you go on and attack. And now I can do it on veteran, or you could save up more and do it on rookie. I recommend veteran. It's fairly simple even for the newest of players. So after that, you're gonna have probably around this much, about 50% done after you do all those, And then if you're a money spent player and you have the ability to get some player exchanges done, sure, do those. I personally, I've spent a little bit of money, but not enough to be able to complete some of these player exchanges because, I mean, you're talking this biggest one, 100,000 points, and it only gives you how much? 20K, of which is 10%, so it's quite a bit, but I mean, 100,000, you're talking quite a few high overall cards. I'm really not willing to give that up. Um, or if you're playing in Battle Royale, you could get these multiplayer ones done, and you'll get these done over time. It looks like I don't have any done for this one in particular, but it's just basically playing with the players from these teams. And like I said, it's all fairly simple. It just takes quite a bit of time. So, just to recap, we're going to be doing our showdowns, one for each team, and then you're going to have your moments that you're going to do, and then you're going to make sure you do the conquest and try to get as many players from whichever uh, division that you're working on. So, just once again, if you're doing AL East, try to get as many players from the Orioles, Red Sox, Yankees, Rays, and Blue Jays. Other than that, there's really not too much to it besides grinding. And these missions are fairly self-explanatory. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or you can just come here, come read them. It's really no big deal. A lot of people are interested in that co-op mode because you can get a lot done through here, especially if you have like a good teammate that you're playing with. But other than that, I think you should be good. March to October for those people who enjoy doing that is an option, but and it will get it done, but it takes a long, long time, and it's really not my thing. But other than that, just remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It always helps out, and just connect in any way you can. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one.